And we're back for the final game. That's right, the very last game of Starladder China Season 10's group stage. After this, we move on into the playoffs. Those are slated to kick off, I believe it's either tomorrow or the next day, but very, very soon. And from these four teams that will go into the playoffs, only two will qualify for a slot at the LAN finals in Kiev. And with that, right now we've got Newbie. They finish 5-2. They'll advance. HGT. They finish 5-2. They'll advance. Vici Gaming 5-1 right now. Will either end 5-2 or 6-1. They will advance. And last but not least, IG and Light Gaming both ended 4-3. But Light Gaming holds the head-to-head tiebreaker. They beat IG 1-1. So Light Gaming will be your fourth and final team. So two teams that aren't really the big names are in, and two teams that are the big names are on the outside. That's IG and LGD, who fail to qualify, and HGT and Light Gaming, well, I say qualify, who move on to the playoffs, and HGT and Light Gaming, not the case. Anyway, I'm LDB on the summit. This one will purely be for seeding for Vici, and hopefully some fun along the way. And of course, I am joined here once again by Blaze. How you doing, Blaze?
Doing pretty well. I definitely think that both HGT and Light Gaming really deserved the slots that they got. They have played just immensely well in this tournament, and yeah, I think that they definitely deserve a little bit more respect after this one. So we'll see how they actually handle the big dogs in the best of threes. But for now, at least in the best of one circuit, they actually really tested their mettle, and they proved that they were worthy. So excited to see a little bit more from them. But for now, Vici, Tongfu. Since Vici are so directly ahead of the second place, I think that actually it may or may not affect whether or not they get first or second. But in either case, they definitely want to take the win here. And Tongfu, they're just looking for something, man. I mean, even in the lgd.cdec matchup, they didn't end up taking a win. So they're feeling pretty bad. They'll go for something a little bit different, but still a lot of what we've seen before. I mean, banning out Death Prophet, Lycan, and Viper, no surprise, and picking up the Centaur and the Razor now alongside the Rubik.
Yeah, and it is still LPC as the drafter, and I imagine, although I'm not sure, the captain for this team, but well, he's been embattled. I won't rag him. I won't rag him anymore. I just hope that he's got a better game in store. As Vici Gaming go back for the Wisp, Tiny probably incoming. And if Tongfu want to prevent that, they could pick it up now. I've seen No Tail play a decent amount of support Tiny and competitive. Granted, normally it's against slightly inferior teams, but he's made it work. Centaur Tiny, not too shabby, although Centaur generally will get that blink, and then it's less effective. I don't know, but if you give away the Tiny Wisp, generally against Vici Gaming, that means you're going to have a bad time. So let's see what Tongfu do here.
Yeah, they're going to need to look for something to react to it. Maybe an Enigma, maybe a Disruptor, just something that will blow apart. We've even seen the Lich as kind of a pseudo counter.
Oh my god, I am so sorry, guys. I forgot to show the draft for the past 2 minutes. I am a total asshole. Jesus. And now I get the teams wrong.
Nice, nice. But Tongfu, I mean, they've drafted this kind of lineup so many different times that you can kind of expect it out of them for an opener. When they get these heroes available, they're going to pick them. Doom is the only hero that I think they prioritize over Razor and Centaur, so they'll pick up these as is per the norm. But the real question of how they take their draft is how they respond to the Wisp. And we still got about a minute to see how they decide there. At least less than that since they're clocking down pretty quick. But as far as Vici's gaming's strategies, it's going to be a lot of aggression. Obviously, the support, Skywrath, can benefit a lot from the mana gains of the Wisp as well. But I expect a dual lane mid, an off lane Void, and then that would leave Black to still... Oh, well, actually, they might have to safe lane the Void. Because if you think about it, Ice 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 plays a lot of off lane for Vici Gaming. And when he's playing the Tiny, as we have seen him do, that does make it more difficult to survive in that circumstance. So either somebody else is going to be a little bit uncomfortable in that situation, or we're going to see Black take it to the safe lane and get a more survivable hero in that number 3 position.
Yeah, Tongfu, in the end, I guess they had their debate. They go with the Clockwork here. It is one of the better heroes to annoy a Tiny Wisp, and the Cogs will be a frustrating thing for the Wisp going in for the Tether, often can run into them. Also can control the Tiny a bit. So it's not the worst hero versus the Tiny Wisp, but you knew it was coming, and, well, this is generally where the Chinese teams like to pick their Tiny Wisp. It dates back, I would say, 8 to 9 months ago when they started to run it. DK was the first team to do it a decent amount, where they rarely pick it 1-2. Generally, they pick it 3-4. So what would happen is, normally teams that were afraid of it would just ban it in the second stage, just banning the Wisp, not the Tiny, but it seems like that response to the third, fourth pick Tiny Wisp is kind of fallen by the wayside, as Now we see Tongfu remove a Tidehunter. They don't want Vici Gaming to have the better late game and the better team fight. So they'll try and prevent that here. Vici with their 2 supports. Probably a dual lane mid, Tiny Wisp and Offlane Void, and just needing someone to go with that Scarith Mage. I imagine some sort of ranged tanky hero, but actually, yeah. Oh no, Razor's been picked up by Tongfu. Yeah, there's not much along those lines left.
Yeah, so they've got a good range of initiation with the Clockwork. They've got a lot of mobility. They can dodge relocates with Stampede if they need to. They're going to follow it up with the Zeus here, so burst damage, but I would have to say if Zeus is put in the mid lane, then they're pretty much screwed. I mean, Razor too. Both of these kind of lightning gods don't have much of a chance against Tiny Wisp when it comes down to the level of aggression. Unless there's somebody like hiding behind the trees ready to counter-initiate, somebody to kind of go for the counter-gank play. Io and Tiny can do the toss into Avalanche, the toss tether slow, and then the Avalanche multiple times over in this lane, and in a 2 versus 1 situation, just absolutely destroy. So I kind of think that Rubik kind of has to camp the mid lane, hide behind some trees, and try to prevent tower dives by using telekinesis.
And now it's Zeus for Tongfu. So yeah, I kind of like this against Wisp, because you always want to burst that stinking ball of doom down as quickly as possible. So yeah, I think Zeus is the right idea versus Wisp.
Sure.
Then again, there's a lot of things that seem like they're good versus Tiny Wisp, and then Tiny Wisp happens. Secret Team has been showing us that like every game in Starladder. So yeah, 5th pick now for Vici. What do you think it here? Oh, too late, I guess. Sorry, Blaze. I talked too long. It's a Venomancer, so natural mech builder for the team if the Wisp doesn't get a lot of farm. Could kind of be that tank, and it's super plain. It's maybe we even see the Venom mid, and they just switch this up and run the Tiny Wisp, even in a tri-lane perhaps, or as a dual lane with the Scarith Mage roaming around.
I could see Venomancer actually surviving well in an offlane situation too if he needs to. He can always just Plague Ward with Poison Sting under tower, 1 point in Gale to prevent dives, and he can survive well enough.
That's definitely an option. And it looks like Vici, are already off to break the trees, so we're going to see FY looking to ramp up his efficiency here, perhaps? Well, we'll find out soon enough. But yeah, let's run through our lineups. Tongfu smoked at level 1. They want to fight. U9 will be playing your Razor. LPC, your Zeus. Yeah, support Zeus. All right, stand-in. I'm not sure what his name is. He's on the Clockwork. Red on the Rubik. And Xiaolu will be playing the Centaur. So they will break the trees down. They'll look to do it one more time. And it seems that Tongfu want to punish this Tiny Wisp before they can get the trees fully broken. But already Ice 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 and FY are in good position to reveal this smoke. But they're going to ward off the camps here. And this is how kind of the ideal way to shut down the Tiny Wisp, is more trees will be broken, is just to prevent these early stacks. But they got vision of the Rubik. They'll drop another Sentry Ward here. And is there gold for sentries on the side of Vici? Oh yeah, there is. FY is rushing a bottle, so he may wait until he gets his bottle. I'm not sure which direction will go, but he definitely will have the gold to deward this if he wants to.
Yeah, and the last player on the side of Tongfu is Kabu. He just didn't change his name for some reason, or didn't change for him, but Kabu is playing the Clockwork. So.
Okay. So it's not a stand-in then?
Nope.
Alright, on the side of Vici Gaming, you've got Fenrir on the Skywrath Mage, Ice 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 on the Tiny Mid. This is becoming a familiar sight recently. FY will be your Wisp brushing the bottle. That puts black onto the Offlane Void, and last but not least, Fenrir on the Skywrath Mage. Or I already introduced him, actually, I think. And then Super is the safe lane Venom. So, yeah, support Zeus. Support Zeus.
Good
I've
for
seen
dewarding.
this 3 times, and it's failed 3 times.
Yeah, it's not the best. It has some value. I mean, it's not the worst thing that you can pick up, but as far as just general efficiency, you don't see a lot out of it. Arc Lightning Harassment might come into the mid lane here. Yeah, they're trying to create space where Ice and Io can't man up on U9. He will get some easy right-click damage, but in the end, he's just the haste is going to be used to harass down the Skywrath, who's also pretty squishy, and it's going to be a mage battle.
First blood. He's got a lot of mobility still left on this haster in a solid like 4 or 5 seconds. Oh, LPC will back off though. Come on, man, you got to go for that. Your team's already 0-6. Have a crack at it. Not going to happen. But FY's going to block his own big camp here. This horde does not block, right? This just gives vision.
The one to the right. No, it should not block the hard camp. No.
Does it? Yeah.
No, it doesn't block anything.
Yeah, as far as he just body blocked the big camp, so that means nothing for FY through the first round of jungle camps. And he did rush the bottle, so I mean, understandable, but it does mean their D wards will be delayed a bit if they even attempt it. I quite like this from Tongfu. Like, if you're gonna avoid Tiny Wisp, you have to at least understand that you can't allow them to get these early stacks up, because it just gives way too much gold to the Tiny.
Sure. I actually see that Fenrir is still in a little bit of a rough spot. He does have the movement speed advantage over Clockwork with boots, but since Clockwork has boots and he does not, obviously there is potential to close that gap. So has to be constantly careful. Looks like FY is frustrated a little bit. He cut all these trees down for naught. He's not going to be able to get much out of that. So his new job is rune control. Really, just sit down on the 2-minute rune, 4-minute rune, pick those up, bottle those up, and keep Tiny sustained. But he also is apparently trying to avoid leeching too much experience. Like right now, he would love to be like moving in towards level 3, but Ice is the one that they're prioritizing, so he can get the magic damage down.
And that's going to be a dead Zeus, bottom lane. Concussive shots there, the follow-up nukes will come. Is there at least a trade? Doesn't look like it. Well, that's one of the reasons why we generally don't see support Zeus. And, well, there might be a trade here. Our Clockwork, no Gale to slow him down. Could get at least a 1-for-1. Potentially even more. He's trapped in, but has no points of battery, so actually, this is going to go against Kabu, I think.
Yeah,
Super into the trees.
Just it away, but he knows he can manage it.
And now, Super juking in a bit deeper. Has these tangos up. Fenrir fighting, but the ward is going to do a little bit of work on LPC. Will still manage to get that kill. Now zapping Super. Is it a double kill for our support Zeus? He's got another tango. Now he wants to run. And Super's trapped himself in during this time.
I don't know why Super didn't just TP away. Like, he had 70 plus mana, and...
He's trapped in. He's done for. That's going to give them vision. Oh, no, maybe not. No more mana. No more mana for an Arc Lightning, but it's coming real soon. Now Fenrir's arrived, though. They've taken too long and let him make his way out. So they were denied. You mentioned rune control for Wisp. That was also denied to them. The regen rune was picked up by the Clockwork. So not getting the stacks off. They're just. It looks like their plan is like, let's not waste money on sentries. Let's just wait 3 minutes and then we'll start pulling. And the sentries are about to expire.
Yeah, I mean, that's not going to be setting them back too far. Right now, the Wisp is under level, but at least the Tiny is not. He's able to still go in for some pretty good spell sets. As far as stats go, though, he barely has enough for the 2 spells. He's not going to be able to really spam here. So Ice is going to be full mana or no mana, essentially, when he goes for these engagements. He's not going to be kind of going halfway there. But we just see Black is surviving well enough on the offlane. It's interesting here. The only offlaner I've seen him play is Nature's Prophet. Obviously, Void has a completely different mentality to him, so it is pretty interesting for us to see him here and how well he is able to accomplish things. We do see
Ice got a haste rune. This could go poorly. He's driving in on U9. Has the toss ready. Can he get the Wisp? Oh, no, Wisp is way too far out. Yeah, he's just wasting his time now.
But yeah, it's a waste of time on both sides, really, because we do see that also the Face of Void is going to get zoned out here. He's trying to farm up hard camp, but under the ward vision of Red, Red's going to do some work against him and make sure that he's set back to low experience gains. But Black still is persistent here. He's got 1 point of backtrack, 1 4-man shield, and if the Centaur's not committing to him, then he can go in for some
Meanwhile,
damage.
bottom lane, there's a go onto the Clockwork, who's taking a lot of nuke damage, not finished off. The Venomance will end up going down first to the Zeus, and now who wins the fight? The Mage or the Zeus? It looks like LPC wins this battle, forcing Fenrir back. While top lane, again looking for that go on Black.
Yeah, well, they actually got him in stun range. They telekinesis him right onto the center, but all he did was double edge him and right click him twice. So they did the math. They could decide they couldn't get the kill, and they'll go for another bout in their next opportunity, I suppose.
Yeah, that is tough. It's if he just gets that one backtrack, then suddenly you've wasted your whole combo for nothing. Mid lane, Typhon 9, but Ice is in pretty far here. Yeah, he's got to be careful. That's why we'll keep him alive with that last bottle charge, but barely. Just good thing that the... Oh, is there a Clockwork Rocket? Yeah, hold that one fly. Let's see. Is it going to be on mark? Coming in. Coming in. Oh, whoa.
What?
Okay.
It was a pretty good vector, too. Like, that was actually going to get dense.
Ice was even juking, expecting that rocket to come in, but... That was like, yeah, that was... I might have been a little bit too far back since he juked, but...
Yeah,
he just, I don't know, man. Maybe he needs to work on his throwing arm there. little bicep exercises.
So I'm trying to think of what they're going to be able to accomplish with their current state. They've got a level 4 Zeus. He can go for some D-warding here. I mean, there is this ward here on the cliff, so next time he casts a lightning bolt, he'll probably see that one, and maybe they'll be able to take one up for themselves. Oh, yeah, they got it. So that's nice.
Look at their own observer ward down here, but promptly met with an avalanche touch from Ice. As FY, 6 minutes in, is still getting his levels. He's level 4, but the big trade-off is that the Tiny is also only level 4. Like, generally at this point, if they're getting the stacks, like, Tiny will be around level 6 or so, if not level 7, and the Wisp will be a bit behind, but then they clear the stacks and catch up, so we are seeing quite a fall-off here in the dual lane mid so far for Vici.
Yeah, I don't know, and like... The biggest aspect I would say is that FY hasn't gone a single rune. There's been like 3 runes. There, Tiny picked one up. Zeus picked one, or sorry, Clockwork picked up 2. It's just he hasn't really gotten what he wanted out of this bottle, and you rush that bottle to give sustain not just for when you use the crow or when you go back to base, but really on the lane, keeping the Tiny there, keeping him casting spells and suppressing U9. But U9's been sitting at full HP pretty much this entire laning phase, and has been able to get some decent CS here, 30 and 14 over the 22 and 6. And yeah, the Wisp just hasn't shown his contribution yet. On top of that, he's been avoiding experience range, so he is only level 4 against a bunch of heroes that are going at least 5+. Like, he is the lowest on the map next to Rubik.
They do have a triple stack now, but it's only on the big camp, and the trees have respawned. It's taken so long for them to start getting these stacks off, so they can't go for the double stack yet. And no golems, at the very least, in that small camp. So something Tiny can easily farm, but they're going to rotate the Wisp towards top lane. As simultaneously they make a go in super bottom. Oh, he's been caught out. Cogs are there. Hookshot can follow this up, and now he's trapped in. LPC working on him, but he's afraid to go in too close. He knows like 1 or 2 auto attacks from the Veno will tick him down a lot with this poison, and instead they'll just leave FY and Fender top. A tough lane for super. The support Zeus is level 6. Actually, very fast. This is a concern. I'm worried for this Wisp, man. Not only is he level 4, but he's also not getting farm. We've seen FY with like Urn at this point in the makings of a mech on top of these items, but yeah, he's not getting those early kills plays.
Yeah, I mean, with Zeus obviously getting that early momentum with the action that was down on bottom, he's 1 kill, 2 assists, so he will get some nice burst damage there, but it's not all bad.
They're going in. On to Shaolu they go, but the Zeus can teleport to turn this one around potentially, and he throws out a nuke. Oh, they'll still kill off the centaur. Do they get out? Lightning bolt's there. The follow-up from the Zeus. Say hello to your Thundergrid's Wrath. They'll get the kill on the Wisp. But not before losing the centaur. Well, meanwhile, in the mid lane, Ice almost finished off by that Zeus ulti. I don't think he was expected to come so early. Man, if they'd gotten the 2 kills there, that would have been so clutch.
Yeah, most definitely. But Super still gets time to push down bottom. He's got his Buckler and Basilius, so that's +4 armor to the creeps.
There's a hook shot. Stampede. That Gale's not going to save you, Super. Caught out as U9 joins the lane. Throws out the Plasma Field, and that will finish him off. No points yet in the ultimate. And meanwhile, back top, they lose the Rubik as well. FY, Black, and Fender combined. So another kill for this, what's become essentially a tri-lane.
Yeah, trying to give Ice space in the mid, just kind of saying don't pay no attention to the farming mountain. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get some kills up on the top lane. They obviously have a lot of burst damage now that the Mystic Flare is gonna be online, and that between the current stairs they even have some real team fight as long as they can find the opening. So this forces Tongfu under their towers, only engaging when they have either ultimates available or when they can find just a person to single out with the hook shot, etc. This damn
Avalanche toss. It's a level 4 toss, but U9 not brought down yet. The spirits will finish him off, and then Zeus comes.
Wow,
no running from heaven. Gets huge levels from that as hits level 7, the Rubik up to level 6. Tiny was level 7 going into that, so he's now equalized things with that death, and they do get the Razor kill, but it looks like he didn't really lose too much gold as he's got at least no important items that he was close to.
Yep, so we're going to see the second rune of the game go to FY here. Double damage up for him, and they do have the relocate online, so I think they want to make an aggressive movement, but the question is against who? Can they delay the Centaur's Blink Dagger well enough with a good pickoff on him? Do they find a person single out like the very slow-moving Rubik? I mean, it's a really hard call as far as this first target, but it's imperative that they actually make use of this combo, because so far it's been kind of Tiny doing one thing, Wisp doing another, and they need to start collaborating.
They also want to clear these stacks out, which they're about to be able to do so. They've got the level 3 Avalanche now for their Tiny, and FY is going to go for one more stack to get the quad stack, and then we'll probably see them go clear that out. And now the hook shot in mid. They're going to try to prevent this one. Ice caught out in the cogs and just blown up by that support Zeus again. With the ultimate, the nuke damage from a level 4 lightning bolt, he just melts. And the FY Wisp tried to relocate and tether him out, I think, but didn't even get close.
No, unfortunately not. We're going to see Plague Ward stolen by Red as soon as he gets his spell steal available, so he's going to drop down wards under his tower to counteract what Super's putting down, and that means this tier 1 will stay up a lot longer than what was expected. Like, initially, it looked like it was just going to be going down here before the 12-minute mark, but if this siege creep falls, the tower push is not going to be coming out anytime soon. Red has plenty of mana to sustain this, and he should be able to hold it nicely. So As far as a current strategic position, like Vici Gaming are just so invested in this Skywrath Void combo that they're essentially playing 3v5 on the other parts of the map. Black and Fenrir haven't left each other's sides since their ultimates came back up, and while that's great for some potential kills, it's unfortunately costing them across the other parts of the map. So they're going to go for the smoke movement. They feel like they've waited too long, and they want to make this chrono count.
Well, U9's up on the high ground in a good position to reveal this, but Black and Fenrir head around the other direction. They take the northern route. Xiaolu's also lurking, and he's got a Blink Dagger. Smoke revealed. They could jump in momentarily. Chrono's there, and Stampede not going to be enough to keep U9 alive. Instead, going for Fenrir, but Xiaolu hesitated a bit too long before going in with the Blink. He stampeded first, and that's not enough to save anybody. As Ice now charges in, looking for that Centaur. Do they really commit that much to this one? Tether relocate out for the Wisp is not... Actually, they're not in sync at all.
He's good.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah,
he went back to collect
3-second cooldown.
He ran back to collect the rune while Ice was charging in. Looked like it would go south. And they're going to at least get the Wisp on the way back, it seems. 4 heroes clustered around, but Vici Gaming are coming in. Do they want to fight this one? They brought the Tiny and the Wisp back. 3 heroes inside the cogs. All of them on the side of Tongfu. Avalanche, Toss, does massive work. Ice still alive through this. They lost their Wisp quickly. Black will jump in. Can't believe they're still standing. Black's even healthy. Super with his mech. Really turns that one around. And Tongfu end up dropping 4, potentially 5. U9 on the run, time walking forward. If they can just get off of Veno ultimate, it'll be enough damage. Fenrir just throwing out another nuke. U9 still being chased out. Gale, they'll get the slow. And U9 bashed instantly. Will end up going down.
Yeah, that was actually pretty insane. Like, originally, the Wisp stayed out because he was afraid of getting stunned when the relocate came through, so, like, he could easily get battery salted, for example. But, yeah, once he was able to jump into it and get the Tiny out, the whole reset gave Vici the time to get in position. That mechanism was pretty much at the ideal timing you can get. And from there, Super survives throughout the fight, hits level 11, and has 2,500 gold banked up. Like, they got the bottom tower, just kind of creeps pushing through. And the fact that Super has now been able to contribute to this extent is putting them in a commanding position in this game.
Xiaolu had a shot at killing this Veno mid. Actually, a really good shot, because Super had no mana for his mech, and Xiaolu did not stampede. He just tried to blink and stop, and right at that moment, Super walked back. So then, if he had gone, it would have been too late. Decides not to, and yeah.
I kind of feel like in the early game, these stampedes have been underwhelming. Like, one of them he tried to use when his buddy got chronoed, and that was obviously quite useless. And I don't know, he wants to be more precise about it, I guess, than what he's done previously.
Yeah, now they're starting to get farm up on the Tiny as well. You mentioned the Veno. He's obviously, for now, their most important hero, but Black has picked up his Mask of Madness. The Tiny has his Drums and Treads online, and Vici Gaming are running a pretty greedy Tricore. Veno's not so much, but the other two definitely are, and still they've gotten through the laning stage, and they now have the 3 most farmed heroes in terms of net worth. And if you're going to give anyone this level of farm, you really don't want it to be a Void and a Tiny.
Yeah. On top of that, like, in the early stages, like the level 4, level 5 range for Tongfu, they had actually quite a bit of burst damage. Oh, Kabu, nice cogs, but well, keep the tower alive.
Hooks onto Ice. There is a relocate available. They got to stop this Wisp from keeping his Tiny out. Can't do it. FY. Well, if he relocates himself out, he'll just go down, but tries to tether. Lives for a time as Razor continues pursuit. He'll pop his Buckler here. Not really going to help him directly in this chase, but it looks like they'll get the Wisp with one more Plasma Field. Cooling down in 1 second, and there you go. They lose their Tiny and their Wisp. They do get the last hit in the tower, and it goes to Ice. Now, meanwhile, mid lane, Super pushing this one, and he's got 4 staff up to go with his mech. 15 minutes in, your Veno's at 7k net worth. As Fenrir looks to set up shop on the cliff above that mid lane. They get 2 towers, although they give up the Tiny Wisp for it, and Tongfu not really trading very rapidly. Their mech is now arriving, but they just don't kill buildings quickly, Blaze.
Yeah, that was the biggest issue. Just no real legitimate push from their side. The mechanism helps, but I mean, it's 15.5 minutes in. Relocate mid.
Big dive. LPC is real far back. Avalanche going to completely miss, then tosses him up anyway, gets the tether slow. Stampede still cooling down. Don't have it available for this. Ice. Trapped inside the base. They need to get him out soon. 1 second, and they're gone. And they'll live.
And they get a kill on the Rubik, and LPC, oh, non-fatal. They don't have any global damage, unfortunately, so he will limp back at 1 HP.
They might get a kill here in the Clockwork as well. Super's chasing him. 4 staff. Has the cooldown in 7 seconds, but it's Fenrir who's looking for U9 mid. Blink Stomp. Super's way behind enemy lines, but he gets silenced. Great reactions by Fenrir as Super tries to make his retreat, but with the vision from the static link, he's not making it out. End up going down. Fenrir hook in from the Clockwork. Kabu sacrifices himself to get that kill. And it's, well, in the end, only a support Scarlet Mage. Not sure if that's 100% worth it, but hey, they'll take their kills where they can find them now. And yeah, they did end up losing the Rubik to the Venom damage over time. Almost lost the Zeus, but only had the non-fatal damage on him with the Poison Nova, I guess. So.
This is another instance where I'm like, why in the world isn't the Rubik maxing his null field after like 1 or 2 points in the telekinesis? I think the second point is pretty good because you get the 575 cast range, but after that, null field is magic damage is like everything that Vici Gaming have right now, and if you could nullify that, that would be huge. But Chronosphere up top.
Red, is there going to be a Basher 2? Yeah, there's 2, and that's all it takes. Black juking away from the stun of Xiaolu. Again, the Centaur misfiring a bit on that one. Could have stampeded and then looked to chase, but didn't do it, and once again, the Void will make it out safely.
Yeah, just keep letting this happen, and I mean, obviously, Ice is going to build up very quickly towards his next item. Maelstrom will be up soon, and yeah, he's just gotten from not necessarily free farm, but
you mean Black?
Yeah, if I. Okay.
Yeah, you said Ice is Maelstrom, so just checking there hasn't been a new innovation in Tiny play recently. They'll catch up with Wisp here in the river, though, and down he goes. Not much FY can do.
Yeah, it looks like Xiaolu is going to be going for a pipe very early on to kind of help this magic damage issue against the Venomancer in particular, but we talked about this before. I just think that like magic resistance in general is something that a lot of people undervalue. Even a casual cloak, if you've got a lot of raw HP, can be extremely impactful, but for now, the null field is going to be under-prioritized. It's going to be max telekinesis, and we still don't even see the cloak component for Centaur, just the Ring of Health.
Yeah, even Void's bash is magic damage, so like between that, Scarlet Mage, Tiny, who's late game, pretty much all physical damage, but for now, pretty much all magical from his combo, and the Maelstrom. Yeah, I'm with you, Blaze. Pipe would be good this game, at least they're building that, but some points in null field would really help. Well,
but,
they'll have them later on, I suppose, but by then it may be too late.
We'll see how many kills it could prevent, how many kills they will get, but for now it's going to be general map control for Vici Gaming. They have the threat of the relocate and now the Chronosphere as well, so essentially Tongfu don't want to be alone, but they are up top. Clockwork.
Caught out with the backstab coming in for the Tiny Wisp, and not even needed. They'll arrive just in time to push out the lane. So seeing this relocate, the call is for Tongfu to go bottom, but Super's already backing off. And he's got a 4-staff anyway. They can't even hookshot him. They need a Centaur stun to get these kills, and they left Tiny top with Black with a double damager, and that's going to be a tier 2 down. No trade in sight, and if this here actually TP's in, yeah, you're dead. There's a Master Madness on Black. He doesn't need Chrono to kill one.
Yeah, so they get a lot of value out of the relocate in the end. It didn't look like it was that great, but I mean, Tiny contributing to that tower kill and now farming up the enemy jungle just takes gold off the map for Tongfu, and they really need to just make a Stampede play happen. Like, they're in a farming mode against a team that they're not going to win late game against. The Zeus is going to start tapering pretty hard. Level 11 is as good as you get, and yeah, I don't know. This is just getting worse every minute if they aren't very careful.
FY is Tether, but Black is not really the ideal combo partner, and Ice is a bit out of range.
Okay, Zeus has 2 points in Static Field and Max Arc Lightning. At level 11, he doesn't have Thunder God's Wrath, level 2.
He's also Max Arc Lightning, which generally we see the Static Field max, but hookshot in bottom lane onto Fenrir. Caught out in the cogs. Mystic Flare dropped behind him as he retreats through those, and now they'll Stampede to continue the pursuit. They'll get the 1 kill. Clockwork immediately back to the fountain. He knows he's in danger of going down. There's some fatal damage over time on him. Red might also go down. Ticking low, and will he die at the fountain? Nope. Maybe? Poison Nova? Poison Sting? Oh, it's a oh, yeah, it's a level, pretty low level. Oh, they'll get the kill there anyway. On the Scarlet Mage, and they end up getting out safely. Some
sighs of relief right there as far as surviving. Ice going to get a lot of damage, but immediately relocates, and Jalov not going to be able to pick up anything. And that was the rubber band of the relocate, right? So they won't be going back. And yeah, this is just a lot of easy wins for Vici. Maybe lost a support or 2 here and there, but in general, they're feeling pretty good. The one thing that Tongfu do have right now is the Veno ulti. If they do drop the Poison Nova in a good position, Red might be able to get some nice kills out of that. But we have to remember that they don't have any fatal damage mechanics towards retreating heroes other than Thunder God's Wrath, which is going to be off cooldown in 25 seconds.
And Rocket. They have Rocket, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
And it is a max Rocket at this point as he's hit level. Well, he maxed it first anyway. But no, top lane, Black. Time walking in. That means he doesn't have a time walk to get out of here. But he has Chronosphere to turn and just solo kill someone potentially. You know Kabu wants to go on this, though. He's really thinking about it, but he can't quite find the opening.
Yeah. And if a Faceless Void is safe farming here in this position, this aggressively, like where can they actually shut him down? Like that's someplace the hard carry hero that you should be able to just silence and kill should not be farming.
He's not even the true hard carry either. Like he's the offlaner, although he is farming like the hard carry now. If the offlaner could do it, it's even worse, you know? Jeez.
Yeah, well, compared to Tiny, I guess all the carries seem a little squishy, a little fleshy. This guy's a mountain, for Christ's sake. But, yeah, they're going to go for some dewarding. They're going to try to get some control, but Black is fearless.
He's gone in on 2 here. The Tiny Wisp could relocate to join him in. Here they come. But they're going to be too late. Red's already... Oh, well, would be dead if it wasn't for that lift. Got it off just in time. Now Kabu's caught in an awkward position. A hookshot into Black, and Black just turns and tries to fight him. With the bashes stacking up, he may get this kill 1v1. Black basically just soloed 3 heroes. Bottom lane. Oh, Stampede was used, but I guess just to try and help their buddy get out. It's a 3 for no exchange of the top lane, and what looked like a clever draft from Tongfu with the support Zeus is quickly falling apart after a nice laning stage.
Like, I haven't seen a relevant Stampede this entire game, unfortunately. It's such an important cooldown against a team that has Relocate and Gale, and I have yet to see it used effectively. And of course, Chronosphere is a great counter. Like, you can't count out the fact that they're kind of stuck in that bubble no matter what, unless you have like a VS swap. But the bottom line is this Stampede has not been effective. The pipe is coming out, but a little bit too late, and I don't know, Vici Gaming have so much tempo in this game. Like, if they take Roche once this game, I kind of feel like it's theirs by default. Oh, look at this stack for Ice Ice Ice.
Yeah, this was the Scarith Mage, I believe, stacking it earlier, while the Wisp was running around with Ice Ice Ice, and now, with this gold going his way, he may even surpass his Faceless Void soon. Super bottom lane is being pursued. Tongfu sending everyone down just to gank the Veno, and even if they get this kill, Relocate's going to be up in 10 seconds. This is so risky for them. They keep on inching forward. Red in the front lines gets 4-stepped in, but Super's quick on the 4-step back. I'm wondering if they're just going to relocate in. Oh, they're going to hook in. No way, Kabu. That is a terrible plan. Relocate is online right about now. Here they come. Chronosphere's ready to go. It catches out 3, and this is just such a bad fight. Can't believe Kabu went in on that. Oh my goodness. 4 heroes dead. It's clobber in time. Give Black all the kills with the Chain Lightning scoring at least 1 or 2. And yeah, ultra kill for the enemy Void. 10-0-5 in the offlane. He's still out farming his own Tiny, who's now got 135 CS. Black is almost there with 130. This is GG any minute kind of time, I think.
Just about, just about. I mean, they haven't really gotten anywhere as far as progression. Zeus did hit level 12, so yay, 2 points in ultimate. But no null field, no pipe, no survivability against this team lineup. Like, they might be able to pick off FY if they jump on him specifically, but that's about it.
Chalu blinks in and then just runs away. Doesn't even attempt to double edge or stomp. He knows if he double edges that he might be in potential kill range. While Black will solo push the bottom lane. 2100 gold up. Is BKB complete? There's a glyph ready for the Dire, but the question is who comes to defend this tower? Void now has BKB. Most of your damage is in effect. They're just gonna... Yeah, they're gonna glyph now, but Black might play it safe. He could really just BKB, go for the tower, and jump out. There's only a hook shot to potentially cancel that. And he'll just play it safe. Tower will go down. Probably denied here, but still a victory for Vici Gaming, who now only have 1 tower remaining outside the tier 3s. On a tier with Tiny Wisp. They're feeling good, Blaze.
Yeah, I would have to say so, especially after that early start and go at the same momentum that they wanted with it. Like, the warding from Tongfu was great. I think that's probably where their best play was literally just dropping down sentry wards to block off the progression of the Tiny Wisp. But unfortunately, those things only last 4 minutes, and since that 4-minute duration expired, I feel like they've been out of control of this game. And we can look at the graphs, we can see this gigantic near 20,000 gold advantage, and I mean, they don't have an answer to kill off maybe even more than 1 hero. If Pipe comes out on the Venomancer before the Centaur picks up his, I don't know.
Bottom lane, really Chronosphere onto U9. He BKB'd before this, but he's still taking a ton of damage just for the physical right clicks. Now Ice 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 arrives. It's really clubbing time. They'll end up getting the kill from that last Wisp auto attack. Then the Chronosphere goes out the other direction onto the Clockwork. He'll end up getting picked off. I think that was the stolen Rubik Chrono, which ended up just getting a teammate killed. Well, Black will find 1 more on the way out. The Rubik goes down. It's like, huh, there's no refresher yet. Oh, that was a failed Chrono from the Rubik.
Well, he hit 1 person. It was literally just a solo Chrono, but I think somebody walked into it or something. But
yeah. Void walked in and just had fun.
Yeah, most certainly. We do see Ice Ice and FY clobber down. There we go.
GG. Vici Gaming will be first place in Starladder China. They finish at 6-1. They're one game ahead of two teams who ended 5-2. Hyperglory Team and Newbie, and bringing up the rear at fourth place is not Invictus Gaming, is not LGD Gaming, but is actually Lie Gaming. So our playoffs are now set. It will be Vici Gaming, Newbie, Lie Gaming, and Newbie. Those will be the four teams. Two of them going to the LAN finals in Kiev. Blaze, if you had to put your money on it, what do you think? Any chance that these lesser big-name teams make it in? It is double elimination, all best of threes, with a BO5 Grand Final. So there's a lot of games to be played before you qualify.
It's really tough to call it, but I would have to say that at least one of those lesser teams are making it to the finals. I think they're going to at least be able to surpass one of the two, Vici or Newbie. And I think that, at the very least, I think Lie Gaming will make it to the top two. But from there, we'll see if they can take on whichever giant they will be facing. But I have a great deal of respect for how far the team has come and the playstyle that they've employed throughout this patch. So, yeah, I think Lie Gaming will at least be the top two. Whether or not they'll actually take a best of three in the final, that's another story.
Well, guys, with that wraps up the group stage for Starladder China, but Starladder in general is still going strong. We've got plenty more Dota action coming your way over the next few weeks. America still has its playoffs. Those begin this week. China has its own playoffs. Those begin, I think it's not tomorrow, but the next day, so there's one day off before them. But yeah, China playoffs coming soon. We also have the European group stage still going. We're like 2/3 of the way through. But basically, the rest of September is all Starladder. When the dust settles, 8 teams will be going to Kiev. Thank you all for joining me for the China journey. We'll be back in just a day or two for those Chinese playoffs. 2 teams go to Kiev. Thank you for watching, guys. You can follow Blaze on Twitter @BlazeCasting. All VODs at youtube.com/BeyondTheSummitTV, as well as some awesome BTS moments. And, of course, if you like my casting, @LDDota for myself as well. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Oh, and Europe's starting soon, so don't fall asleep.